everybody. How are you? I can't tell you how excited I am to be back. Do me a giant favor. On the count of three, just say, hi, Karen, so I can hear how big this crowd is. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Karen. Oh, my goodness gracious. All right, Mr. Jansen, let's play some jazz. Hi, everybody. You have got to accentuate the positive. How's that? Eliminate the negative. And accentuate that positive, but do not mess with a mixer in between. I couldn't help it, Ken. And you got to spread joy up to the maximum and leave old gloom right down at the minimum. Have faith. That's right. Come on. Or pandemonium is liable to walk upon that scene. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah and the whale, Noah and the ark. What could they do just when everything seemed so dark? They said you gotta accentuate the positive. Eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In between. Thank you. Wow, holy cow. Do it again, do it again. Mr. Ken Jansen, everybody. To illustrate my last remark, Jonah and the whale and Noah and his ark. What did they do just when everything seemed so dark? Said you gotta accent the positive, eliminate the negative and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In between. Said don't mess. I said do not mess. Don't you mess. Don't you mess with Mr. In between.
Good day, everyone. Please join me in prayer. There is only one life. That life is God. That life is perfect. That life belongs to each and every soul in this sanctuary. Each and every soul out there listening to this message, wherever in the world they may be. Each and every one that expresses the divine, whether they do that in a synagogue, a cathedral, in the forest, any and everywhere, because there is nowhere where God is not. And as we look into this everyday wonder, work, It is the divine purpose for which each and every individual listening to this message was created. There is a unique charge that belongs to every soul that hears this message. Every soul in the universe has that unique message as a divine expression of the one life, individualized, naturally divine. I give thanks to everyone who is here to celebrate this oneness, for the musicians who are here, for the sound and technical team, for all the volunteers, the ushers, the practitioners. I give thanks for Reverend Chen, through whom a message of divine guidance, a divine order will flow through to lift each and every person, each and every soul that hears this message into that purpose, to recognize that work is service. It is love. It is the divine expression that each and every soul that has been created is. And by stepping into that divine purpose, there is only meaning. I give thanks for each and every soul that hears this message, each and every soul that has been created here and everywhere around the world, releasing my word into divine law, knowing that all things are already done in the mind of God. At the intersection of right here and right now, it is already done. I let this go. I let it be. Together we affirm. And so it is. Our words of inspiration, our first set come from Emma Curtis Hopkins. When we know God, we have touched the very substance which can inform us how to work wisely so as to be clothed, fed, housed, and healed without any other process than simply knowing God. From David Spangler, right action is the willingness and the ability to do whatever is necessary to bring manifestation about. It is not always having something fall into our laps. It may require physical labor to bring it about. From our founder, the Honorable Dr. Ernest Holmes, our work is best done in quiet expectancy and calm confidence. The results rest with the eternal law of good.
Sometimes prosperity seems like an impossible feat, a mountain too high to climb seems unreachable to me. I can tell how you're hurting, tell how sad that you feel. Take a look around, there's so much love to be found. That's what's really real when you give with love. Live your life with love. Have a little faith in life's ebb and flow. That's how we all change and grow. When you give with love, live your life with love. When you give to me. That's prosperity. Does your life feel like it's just one great big bill to pay? Always stuck in the same old place? Will it always stay that way? Well, I can tell you can change your thinking. Change the way that you feel. Take a look around. There's so much love to be found. That's what's really real when you give with love. Live your life with love. Have a little faith in life ebbs and flows. That's how we change and grow. When you give with love, live your life with love. When you give, you will receive. That's good work to me. True prosperity. When you give with love, live your life with love. Have a little faith, be in life's flow. That's how life changes and grows. When you give, you will receive. Give love. That's what I truly believe. That's true prosperity. When you give, you will receive. That's true prosperity. Gonna say it again. Give love. That's real
I can't stand it. It's September already. Can you believe that? How in the world does this keep happening? It's just, we just keep flipping over the calendar. And this month our theme is on work. And our my talk title today is Good Work. Good Work. So let's think about this for a moment. Work is an extension of our individual passion in the world. It is how we apply ourselves and how we show up. And one of the challenges for us is that sometimes we become so attached to the job, to the work, that becomes our identity. We fail to see that we have worth and value to be here on our own, whether we are employed or not. And so what we want to look at is how do we show up in this space, and how do we show up in this place of work, and what do we have to contribute, and what do we have to bring to the table? When we consider the word work and we consider the idea of job, we think about office environments and corporations, and we think of boardrooms, and we think of meetings, and we think of bosses that we don't particularly care for, and the list just kind of grows and morphs into so much more. But yet, what we want to think about and be aware of today is that we are spiritual beings. We are spiritual beings, and we are living out a spiritual experience in this world. So we want to look at the spiritual elements and the meaning of what this is to us, and not just limit it to an 8-to-5 job, if you will. And for many of us, we may not even have that space where we're doing that kind of work, that we have that kind of job anymore, because the world has changed. I know you noticed. I certainly noticed. The world has changed drastically. Churches have changed. Just a few short years ago, all of a sudden the church buildings were empty. And now that we have people coming back into a live environment, if you want to call it that, and we have these hybrids that we're talking about, where we're Zooming and we're using video and online services to show people our Sunday messages and our messages of inspiration, we have noticed something very significant has happened. A lot of the people went away, and they didn't come back. And no, they didn't go on to another existence. They have no longer found value in the connection of community that we once had. Or possibly there's some fear around that, because when we got together and we all hung out together, people started getting really, really sick. And that was a problem. That was a big, big problem. And so now what we're noticing smaller groups in our communities. And we're noticing people are coming in that maybe we did not know before, and they're coming in to be a part of this. And some of the people who went away have no desire to return. They've either lost interest, or they've moved away, or they found some other process for their spiritual well-being. Well, the same thing has happened in the work world, where you once could walk into a huge office, and my career in corporate America was call centers. You would walk in and there were hundreds of people in the room, and that's not the case anymore. And what we discovered is that, oh my gosh, yes, indeed, we can trust them to work from home. We can allow them to manage their own time and get things accomplished. And so now we have people working from home, and we have some of the offices still today have not come back into that live environment that we once had just 3 short years ago. So we want to pay attention to this, and we want to think about this, and we want to look at, what does this mean to us? What does this mean to us as a spiritual community who is alive and well in Aurora, Colorado, who wants to serve the greater community, who wants to be in support? We want to do the good work. What does this mean to us, and how do we go about this? And our founder, Ernest Holmes, says this: we are in partnership with the infinite mind. The name of this partnership is God and Company. This partnership cannot be dissolved, for this union was never created. It always has been, and it always must remain. Wow. God and Company. What's different in the world today when we wake up each day and we recognize that we are part of an organization called God and Company? When we realize that we are the company and Spirit is the CEO, and it is guiding us and supporting us and showing us the way of the good work that we can do. Excuse me. We have such an amazing partnership with God in all things. And once we recognize this, once we realize this and embrace this, we come to that awareness that we cannot fail. We cannot fail. So we want to turn our attention to this very concept and find better ways to do the work. And what that means is we're going to have to be more creative. We're going to have to come up with new ideas and do things differently than we did in the past, because what we were doing in the past led us to what happened in the past, and that's not working anymore. I just made that clear. So what is it going to take? And how are we going to move forward in this process and do this amazing work that we're here to do? Where we begin in this process is what really truly matters. Socrates said, Wonder is the beginning of wisdom. So where can we begin? Right here and right now. We can start in this present moment, in this idyllic space right here, where life, work, and love are happening now. How beautiful is that? How incredible is that? Now is the moment to cast a shadow of influence upon the material essence of the world. It is time to add our voices. It is time to contribute our energy. It is time to look at ways that we can give back, that we can support. Your work may not be at an office or in front of a computer. Your work may be as simple as how you connect with another human being when you're out and about in the world. That's the good work. That's where we express the love that Karen and the team was just singing about. Absolutely, to hold that space. Our theme for the year is living in everyday wonder. So what we want to do is we want to take this idea of work and how we show up in the workspace and what we have to give and to contribute, and we want to also align that with the everyday wonder of who we are and how incredibly amazing life is. I mean, incredibly amazing. And live in that space of daily wonder. Looking at the beautiful, the unexpected, the colors. Right now, today, all of the growth from the summer is just in beautiful blossom. The flowers are rich and vibrant. The trees, I've seen a few leaves starting to change. We're going to start into that process. Someone was complaining the other day because it's still pretty warm outside. Okay, so be it. It's going to start to cool down. It's going to start to shift. The season is going to start to change. And we can live in the wonder of how incredible that is. Have you noticed that it happens every year, over and over again? I have never gotten up one time and had to go outside and gone, what is going on here? Did you guys forget how nature works? No. It's just happening. It's just a process. It's perfection. And I live in the wonder of that, the absolute incredible wonder of it. We can be in that place of awe. We can be in that place of inspired. We can be in that place of admiration and respect. And we can do the good work around these things. It's beautiful, it's phenomenal, and it's pretty critical. Sometimes we think of work in that space of, well, it's what brings the food to the table. It's what gives me the money to go put in the bank so I can buy the food, so I can pay the rent, so I can buy the house, I can buy the car, whatever. Yes, that is a piece of it. But is that why you're doing it? Are you doing the work that you do so that you get a paycheck? Because I'm here to tell you, if that's the case, it might not be as fulfilling as it could be. It might not feel as rich and beautiful. I never in a million years thought I would become a minister. And here I am. And the work that I do is all about the people and the love and the teaching and the support and the guidance that I can bring forth for anyone who's seeking it, for anyone who needs that support, that energy. Do I get paid? Yes, I do. Is that why I do it? No, it's not. No, it's not. I used to say years ago that I just wanted to be famous. Nobody has to pay me, I just want to be famous. I don't even know what I was thinking. But I told an awful lot of people that. And I don't know that I'm famous, but I do have an awful lot of people that I come in contact with on a regular basis that say, oh, I know you. I've heard of you. Your name is really familiar. Is that fame? Sure, why not? We'll call that fame. So where can the wonder and where can the work take us? Ernest Holmes said, seek to make your work a prayer. You're believing an act. You're living an art. It is then that the object of your faith will be made visible to you. It is then that you shall kiss the lips of your desire. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? So let's talk a little bit about the good work. In October of 2010, Pam Bales set out to hike Mount Washington. She was a nurse that lived in New Hampshire, and she had hiked this mountain numerous times. And that particular day, the weather forecast was not particularly promising. And so what she knew was that she had to have a backup plan, that there was a very strong possibility that once she started getting up into the higher altitude of that mountain, she might need to have a different course of action. Now, she had made this trek so many times. She had packed her backpack so many times. It was just a ritual. She didn't even have to think about it. But on this particular day, she packed all of the things she might need should she be required to perform a rescue. Intuition, maybe? Sure, why not? And so she set out on the trail. And at the lower level, and any of you who have climbed mountains, you know that at the lower levels, the weather is beautiful. You know, she was in a tank top and no jackets, no hat, no gloves, no coat at the lower level. But the more she gained altitude, the colder it got. And what happened was the storm began to set in. And it became difficult to see. And the weather became very, very wet. And then there was this wind and this low visibility, and she began to consider that she was going to need to make her detour and go another route and get down off the mountain because she wasn't willing to risk her life. She simply wanted to have a great hike. And as she was considering moving over to this trail that she knew would take her back down to the parking lot, she discovered footprints in the snow. And the footprints in the snow looked like the footprints of sneakers. Well, she knew immediately that that was a bad, bad sign. If there was someone on this mountain wearing tennis shoes in this particular weather, this individual was in trouble. And she carried a whistle with her, and so she began to blow the whistle and shout out, and the weather got worse. And those of us who all live in Colorado know exactly how quickly that can happen. And so she's shouting out, and she's following these footsteps, and she's having a difficult time finding her way, but she has a sense that someone needs her help. And then she comes to a place where she sees a man sitting in the snow, facing away from her, in shorts and a shirt and tennis shoes. And by the time she got to him, he was pretty incoherent. And she was trying to rouse him enough and talk to him and find out who he was, and he was very unresponsive. So she named him John because she needed to know what to call him. And so she began to tell him that she was going to have to undress him and get him heated up with these packs and this blanket that she had in her bag to get him revived enough so that she could get him off the mountain. Hypothermia is a very scary thing. John wasn't particularly responsive. He didn't really fight her, but he didn't really help her. And for hours, she proceeded to try to get this man moving and up and putting additional socks on him and trying to heat him up so that she could get him off this mountain. Because this mountain was a place where the unpredictable weather and the summit had claimed over 150 lives in the past. And what Pam said to him was, "I'm not leaving you. We're going down the mountain together." And so she began this process of trying to get this man to follow her. And there were times when she'd be kind of trudging along and she'd look back and she couldn't even see him because he'd either fallen down or just stopped. And he kept telling her to go on without him. And she refused. She wasn't going to leave this man on this mountain. She was going to bring him back to safety. And hours later, in inclement weather, she managed to get him down the mountain to the parking area where he could be receiving medical attention. Pam saved that man's life that day. To this day, I have not found any kind of information as to what the gentleman's real name is. So we all call him John. What she did not realize in her work to save this man was that he had gone up to the mountain to die. That's why he was dressed the way he was dressed. He had no intention of returning. Sometime later, he was able to reach out to her and the team that she was part of the rescue efforts with and send a thank you letter and state that he had realized because of her efforts that there was a reason for him to be here, that there was something about him that was of value, and that she could see it for him, but he couldn't see it for himself. And therefore, he began to get the therapy and the care that he needed to discover what that was for himself. She saved him twice. She saved him on that day from dying up on that mountain, and then she saved him again in the long-term effects of the love she gave him, of the support and care she gave him, of the good work that she was willing to do to ensure that she could bring him to safety. Amazing. Now, I'm not telling you that you need to do good work and go out there and save lives. However, how often have you touched the heart of another person with a smile or a gesture or a kind act? And you have no way of knowing to what impact that has had on that individual's life. We are saving lives moment by moment. That is the good work that we do. Some of us have done that good work in an office environment where we've touched someone's heart just with a conversation or a connection. Some of us have done that at the grocery store just by connecting with someone with a smile. Some of us have done that by stopping at the corner of the street where someone has a little sign held up and offering bottles of water or cash. This is the good work. This is what we're talking about. And so my encouragement for you is this week is to take a look at this. What can we do? How can we be more productive in the world today? How can we be more creative in the world today to support others in what they need, in what they seek, and what they desire? Byron Sherwin, who is a Jewish scholar and a rabbi, said, Each of us is an artist, commissioned to create one great work of art during our lifetime. And that work of art is our own life. Remember this week that you are a masterpiece, that you are creating this beautiful tapestry of the life that you are, of the life that you lead. And how is that permeating the lives of others? How is that touching the lives of others? What are you doing? Are you passionate about it? Are you living in the wonder of it all? I know I am. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty incredible. Alan Watts said, "This is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are. To be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and the now. And instead of calling it work, realize it's play." We observed that today with our musicians. Did you notice them as they were playing their instruments, including their vocal cords? They were having fun. We were having fun with them. We were having fun because of them. What a great reward that is for all of us. We call that win-win. Don't we call that win-win? Yeah, so how wonderful is that? Let's give thanks for that. If the work is feeling like a drudgery, you need to sit down and look at what that is. Something's out of alignment. If you can accept and embrace the idea that the work you do is fun and joyful and playful, oh my gosh. Well, yes. Then let's look at that. And let's play through life. I know I've told you this story before. The first real job I ever had. Now, I applied for a job when I was 11 years old at the local Five and Dime, and they would not hire me. I had a lot of great ideas of what I could do, and it was a flat out no. So it took me till I don't know, maybe my junior year of high school when I was finally old enough to get a job, and I went to work at a place called Union Printers Home, which is a retirement kind of community for printers in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And I worked in the kitchen, and there were some really great people that I worked with, and there's some really not so great people that I worked with. And because I was young and 16, I had some ideas about what a job was supposed to look like. And this one wasn't looking like what I wanted it to look like. And so within 3 weeks of working at this job, I quit. And I came home and told my dad that I quit my job. And my father lost his mind. And he could not understand why on earth I would stop working at a job that was giving me whatever amount of money after 3 weeks. And I said, "Well, Dad, I wasn't having any fun." And my dad, who probably never had fun at any job he ever had, looked at me and he goes, "What?" And I said, "I wasn't having any fun." And he goes, "Fun? It's a job. It's work. Who told you you're supposed to have fun?" And I said, "Well, nobody told me. I'm not stupid. I could figure that out for myself." He was beyond himself. However, I began a pattern that I carried through my life that has served me very well, that when I finally get to that place where whatever it is I'm doing isn't fun anymore, I'm going to walk away. And I've done it over and over and over again. So let's be more playful, and let's be more excited and passionate, and let's live in that wonder of doing the good work and see what that can do for us. Reverend Scott Aubrey gives us this quote. Oh, I went the wrong way. If the job or work you're currently in becomes inadequate, if you truly feel you have done all you can in that position, then keep yourself in tune with the creative flow through prayer and meditation. And one of two things will happen. Either the job will change or you will be guided to another place. How beautiful is that? That's all we need to look at, is that if this isn't right, if this isn't feeling good, then all I have to do is take it to prayer. All I have to do is take it to meditation and absolutely know that it's time for something to shift. And universal wisdom is amazing at making that shift on our behalf for our benefit. This week, I encourage you to take the time to look at the good work, to look at the way you are fulfilled when you do it, to look at the rewards that you have as you step into it, to look at the wonder of it all, the enjoyment of it all, and the playfulness of it all. Please pray with me. As we just breathe in, breathing into this energy, to this space, to this time, to this moment right here, right now, we breathe in that energy that is God. We breathe in that joy, that peace, that grace that is spirit in all things. We breathe in and know that God is with us always. We are guided. We are directed. We are demonstrated that creative thought process, that things we can do differently, how we can step forward and do the good work for all life, for all the planet, for all people, and for ourselves, and have those wonderful, rich rewards. This week, we just tap into this idea, knowing that we are one with the divine, knowing that God is good, and God is great, and God is perfect, and God lives within each and every one of us. How grateful I am just knowing this. How grateful I am to be able to speak these words in this space, in this place, bringing us all together for that awareness, for that joy, for that beauty. And we know that even though the planet has changed, even though many things have shifted, and even though normal has gone out the window, we absolutely know that we can create new. We can create again, and we can support all life, all people, all things. And so it is with gratitude that we just give thanks for the very privilege to be here, to be a part of this, to be able to recognize spirit in all things, and enjoy, absolutely enjoy, the grace of our lives. And so right here and right now, we simply let this go. We let this go, turning it over to the law of mind, where it is already done in divine mind, where it is done and perfect. We let it go and we let it be. And together we say, and so it is.
Here we go. Ow. Live from your heart, love from your soul. What do you think of that? Just say yes. Go on, let your tenderness show. Live from your heart, love from your soul. Just say yes. Go on, let your kindness and your love show. It's all about giving. You know what I mean, right? And being kind. reaching out to help someone, even when it's one person at a time. Living from your heart means you truly understand. Connection is everything. With open heart, open hand. Live from your heart. Hey, love from your soul. Right, Ken?
Yes, ma'am.
Just say yes. Go on. Let your tenderness show. Yeah, John, isn't that true? Live from your heart. Love from your soul. Just say yes. Go on. Let your tenderness show. It's all about loving with an open mind. Seeing each other through someone else's eyes, even if it means one person at a time. Living from your soul means you understand. Reaching out, giving all that you've got, with open heart, open hand. Live from your, live from your, live from your, live from your heart. Come on, put your hand together. And I mean a lot. Here we go. Live from your, live from your, live from your, live from your. If you feel it, say yes. Live from your, live from your, live from your, live from your heart. Tell me yes if that's what you mean. You got it. Live from your, live from your, live from your, live from your. One more time, say yes. Last time. Live from your, live from your, live from your, live from your heart. Here we go. Live from your heart, love from your soul. Just say yes. Let your generosity and caring and kindness show. Live from your heart. Love, 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 love from your soul. Just say yes. Let your love really show. Live from your heart. I'm going to teach you something new. It's a song I just recently wrote. It's very simple. The only trick is you have to sing with me. But you know, I love nothing more than having your voices with mine. So let me just sing this to you. It's very simple, very easy. It just goes like this. You are not alone. And again, you are not alone. There's one more line. Wherever we are, that's where God is. You are not alone. So let's just sing it together before we really start this thing. And there's going to be an interlude for you to just receive, okay? You are not alone. You ready? You are not alone. God, how I love you. And again, You are not alone. Wherever we are, that's where God is. Wherever we are, that's where God is. You are not alone. We're going to do it again, just because I adored every second of it. Here we go. You are not alone. Ooh, you are not alone. Wherever we are, that's where God is. You are not alone. This is your time to receive. And feel the beauty all around, like the sunlight warm on your face. Oh, feel the beauty deep inside. That's the wonder of God's grace. Here we go. You are not alone. You are not alone. Wherever we are, that's where God is. You are not alone. Can I take you out? Would you mind? Wherever we are, that's where God is. Sing the last line so we're all together like we are, whether you're here, whether you're watching. Here we go. You are not alone.
Hello, I'm Reverend Jen Wild, Senior Minister for New Dawn Center for Spiritual Living. New Dawn Center is a global community, and we welcome all people, all paths, all ways of thinking, all philosophies. So know that you are welcome here, and thank you for joining our online community.